Hi guys, it's Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I just want to share some self-care ideas. I think during this time we all need to make sure we schedule in or pencil in some of that self-care time just for ourselves, whether it be 5 minutes, half an hour, half a day, 1 hour, whatever it is for you. I know everyone has different things going on and can only give a certain amount of time to things, so yeah, but definitely I think it's important during this time to really make time to look after yourself and just practice some self-care. Before I get into the different ideas, I just want to say, in relation to self-care can mean different things to different people, and no one answer is right and no one answer is wrong, but everyone just might have a different perception of what it is. So for me, self-care is just doing something for yourself that brings you and makes you happy and calm and peaceful and just brings you joy. So for some people that can literally be sitting down reading a book, or it could actually be going out on a run, or it could be actually doing work that could be self-care to them. So no one's idea of self-care is wrong and no one's idea of self-care is right. It's all just a personal preference, and as I said, for me, once it brings you some kind of peace or joy or happiness, well then that's self-care. There's a dog barking in the background, so I'm really sorry if you can hear that. Anyway, now that's out. Also, I want to say in relation to self-care that self-care isn't actually just doing something for yourself or taking time out for yourself. I also find self-care can be deeper than that. It can be more on the personal development side of things, and more about like setting boundaries in place, or taking time to really get to know your true self, or starting a personal development journey. So it can be a lot deeper than just a bubble bath and a book kind of thing. As I said, both are completely right though, and neither of them is wrong. It's just maybe the mood you're in the day, or what exactly it is that you need to do to bring that peace and joy into your life. So just some ideas that I have and that I like to do, and that I know others do, is a lie-in. Sometimes just setting your alarm for a couple of minutes later than usual can just be a perfect boost. The example I'm going to give this mightn't be a great example, but I'm going to give it anyway. But basically every morning I set my alarm for 7:45. Now I am one of those people that does press snooze a good few times and can't just like knock off their alarm and jump straight up. It just doesn't make me feel happy. It just doesn't work great for me. So I like the ability to press snooze for a bit. At the moment I'm not really rushing up to, I don't have a job that I need to be down at the table for, or kids to get up to, or anything like that, but I do have a set routine that I do like to stick to, and I like to kind of go for my walk and do a little workout and have my breakfast all kind of by 10 o'clock, and then start my course for the day. So that's my little routine. So as I said, I don't really have to jump out of bed for anything in particular, but this is my routine that I like to stick to, and that's what I'm jumping out of bed for. That was a tangent that nobody needed, so I'm sorry. Anyway, say I set my alarm for 7:15 in the hope, or sorry, 7:45 in the hope of getting up to 8. But on a Friday morning, I like to set that for 8 o'clock. That alarm for 8 o'clock. It's literally 15 minutes extra, but it genuinely makes the world a difference, and I just feel it's a little treat for myself, and I really like it. So it's definitely, that's something simple. It doesn't take much time out of your day, but setting your alarm for 5 or 10 minutes later than you usually do is just a nice little treat. On the flip side of that, set your alarm for a little bit earlier and have 10 minutes in the morning just to yourself before the rest of the house wakes up. So I used to do this when we were all going to work and things were a little bit more normal, but I wake up like 45 minutes before I needed to, and that just gave me the time to read a book or do some journaling, or do some meditation or yoga or whatever I was really feeling up for that morning, and genuinely I loved it so much. If I didn't do it, I could feel my whole day off balance, and it kind of set me up right for the day. So I do love doing that. So I know that's a flip side to the last one, but definitely just setting your alarm for a few minutes earlier. It doesn't have to be 45, it could be 15, it could be 10, but just enough time for you just to have some time by yourself doing whatever you want to do before you have to get into your routine or before the rest of the house wakes up. Another thing I like to do is painting my nails. I usually get acrylics, but obviously we haven't been able to do that due to lockdown, so my nails have all fallen off and I have none. Please don't look at these ones are chipped. But anyway, so I have now my natural nails for the first time in a while, which is nice to give them a break, but sometimes I do like having my nails done. I feel like I'm more put together and stuff, so sitting down and painting your nails is a really nice way of just looking after yourself and giving yourself that little boost if you need it. Reading a book is something I love. For me, I just get such a sense of peace and escapism when I'm reading a book. I really am transported to where that book is, the setting of that book is, and can envision what the people look like and sound like. It's half an hour that I just like to get stuck into a book and forget about what's going on. Walking has been a newfound love of mine. Probably have mentioned this before. If you follow me on Instagram, make sure you do, you will know this. Walking has become my new favorite hobby. It is my favorite thing to do. Now, if I don't get that done in the morning, I can feel myself. I don't have as good of a day. I don't feel as good during the day. So walking or running or cycling, whatever it is that you like to do, is just, it's so good for your head. And I don't mean like you need to go power walking, because genuinely I don't. But your head, it clears your mind. You don't have to worry about anything, and you can just think about whatever it is you want to think, or you don't have to think at all. But if you haven't got into it, I really strongly suggest that you do, because it is so good for your mind and your body in general, and I just can't recommend it enough, in case you didn't notice. Another self-care thing I like to do is journaling. Again, if you're not into journaling, I urge you to try it for yourself to get into journaling. This can take as long as you want it to. I tend to do it at nighttime, because I feel like I just like reflect on my day and how like the positives of the day, or if there was any low points. But so doing it at nighttime, literally every night I come up and I'm like, oh, I forgot to do it, and will I not do it, will I do it? I do it. It takes me 7 minutes and I genuinely go to bed with a smile on my face. I feel so much better. Sometimes you don't even realize what might have got you, like, affected you during the day, and thankfully I haven't had many like low points. But sometimes I find myself thinking about something and I'm like, oh, I barely even like remember it standing out in the day, but inside I remember it, so obviously it had some kind of impact on me. And then likewise with the positive, sometimes I'm writing stuff and I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of this as a positive or an achievement, and here I am writing it down, so it obviously did bring me a lot of happiness, or it meant something good to me. But definitely journaling, 100% recommend it. As I said, it doesn't take that long. Journaling kind of leads me into the point I was talking about earlier, where self-care can really be about personal development, and looking after yourself in a different way, if that makes sense. You get what I mean? We're going to just keep rolling with it. Journaling is definitely part of that too, but also just sitting down and looking at your boundaries and looking if you're implementing them or not. I have recently discovered that I'm not implementing my boundaries at all. Like, I've known about boundaries for the last kind of, I think it's 2 years I first heard about it, and I was like, yeah, definitely gonna do that, definitely gonna do it. And I did it, and then I just didn't actually do it, if that makes sense. Like, I thought about it, but I didn't implement it. So sitting down and just thinking about what you accept and what you won't accept can really just be freeing. And then you know they're your boundaries and you need to look after yourself, and if someone kind of cross over those boundaries, then you need to deal with that in whatever way is best. Also just reflecting on yourself, like reflecting on you. Are you happy with kind of where you are? Would you like to grow? Would you like to learn new things? Just really growing yourself and reflecting on yourself and reflecting at where you are and how you're feeling. Definitely kind of sitting down. This could be linked with the journal, but we'll make it a separate thing. It's like sitting down and just picking out 5 things that you liked that happened that day, or 5 things that you're grateful for that happened that day. Can really just do the world a good. And genuinely though, like writing down those 5 things takes 5 minutes, and I think we all have 5 minutes to spare. And if you're telling me that you don't, I don't believe you. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. You can make 5 minutes to do, or you can find 5 minutes somewhere else in your day to do it. 100%, everyone has the time. These are just some of my ideas. I mean, reading a book is another one. Oh, I've already mentioned that. Watching Netflix is another one. Talking to someone. Self-care doesn't have to be by yourself. That's another thing, is that like practicing self-care doesn't need to be like me in my room alone doing any of the things I've just mentioned. Self-care can be having a cup of tea with your best friend, or with a family member, or just even on the phone, FaceTiming, Zoom calling a friend. Like that can be self-care too. Self-care doesn't need to be in a room by yourself. It can be, as I said in the beginning, it's whatever brings you joy, peace and happiness. Then to me, you've hit the nail on the head with self-care. Anyway, I hope you liked those. I hope you liked this video. It was just a quick one with some tips, because I know it's really important to do some self-care during this time, whether it's every day or at once a week or even once a month if you want to do like a big self-care thing. But during this time, I would definitely try and do it a little bit more often than you might have done it previously. Anyway, that's all from me today, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!